All right, y'all. We got a special guest this evening, man, calling up, man, to talk about this URL PG card coming up January 13th here in the West, man. We got none other than KG on the line. What's going on with you, fam?
Can't call it, man. What's good with you, brother?
Doing all good, doing all good. Appreciate you taking the time calling up.
No doubt, no doubt.
So, like I said, man, he just dropped this flyer on us yesterday, man. URL PGs is back in the West. Y'all not wasting any time with this card, man. Y'all bringing back top names, new names. I mean, y'all got everybody on this card. How you feeling about the way the card's looking?
I like it, man. I felt like going into 2019, we need to had to mix it up, get some new names, some shots. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people been requesting certain names. There were certain people that I wanted to put on there that for whatever reason, you know, we couldn't get them on there. But, yeah, I'm happy with what we got, and I think it's a good kickoff. I think the people outside of Cali or the people outside of the West may not be familiar with some of these names. Like, it's not as many household names as there normally be, but, you know, that's how you build up. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people could have said Traffic 2 was the same shit in terms of the day ones, and, you know, Gotti, back when Gotti had his first PG, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, niggas got to start somewhere, and I figure might as well do it at the top of the year.
I heard that. So one thing I wanna ask you, you know, because we're gonna get into the whole card and everything a little later. But one thing I really want to ask you, because it keeps coming up a lot. You know, what does it take to get the PG? You know, some people, they feel like, oh, well, I've done enough to get the PG. So from your perspective, what are you looking for when it comes to giving somebody a shot on the URL PG platform?
Shit, first thing is I don't want to hear about what you did, and I want to hear from somebody else what you did. That'd be the biggest problem. To me, that's a real big turnoff is when I'm looking to see what the people think and people big themselves up. And there's nothing wrong with bigging yourself up, but if you're the only person in the room talking about yourself, then, you know, that's, you know, to me, that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, I look into my team. You know, obviously, people already know. If you don't know, you know, between Floss, Yak, and Kevin Parks, you know what I'm saying? I tap into them to see, you know, what's who been really cooking out here, who name really been ringing. You know what I'm saying? And I get a lot of unbiased opinions. And then from there, I do my own research. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my research based on when people, you know, hit my inbox or when I put these posts up and say, yo, who should I look out for? You know, and when niggas say certain names, I check them out and, you know, and I do my research, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just a combination of, you know, me doing my due diligence and relying on my team to make sure that they, you know, giving me the hottest names that's out. And like I said, there was a couple other names that we couldn't get on for whatever reason. So if you're thinking about there's certain names that probably should have been on there, it could have been because of them not being able to make it. But, you know, we tried to, you know, get all the top new niggas a look for this joint. I don't personally think as many niggas deserve a shot that think they deserve a shot. Like, let me be upfront about that. Like, I feel like some of these niggas have a little entitlement issue, but we try to do the best we can every time, and, you know, that's what we got from this.
I heard that. So you yourself personally, I remember last time I talked to you, I brought this up. You were a person who, when you started your career, you came from a small league background, like your city and where you were at didn't really have battle rap, you know, the way it is today. You know, you really had to put in work to really get noticed. You really had to stand out. For those who are coming from these IE leagues, say they might be coming from the Northwest or Colorado, you know, some of these places where they feel like, well, battle rap isn't really a focus like it is in SoCal. What is your, like, advice? Like, what would you tell them they need to be doing in order to make it to get a PG opportunity?
That question got a lot of layers to it, so it's a few different answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just do one thing and expect to get put on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta you got to work at all your weaknesses. And for some niggas, their weaknesses, they don't look at the game tapes and be honest with themselves. Like, some niggas, and I might have said this before, some niggas will look at game tapes, they let their niggas gas them and had them thinking that, you know, where they at right now is what they need to actually perform on the stage. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing niggas need to do is look in the mirror. That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look in the mirror. You have to be honest with yourself and say, what can I do that's going to allow me to translate how I move on this platform? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't give a fuck what none of these niggas say. You can dog the PGs all you want, but all these niggas want to be on URL. And if you don't want to be on URL or King of the Dot, you just doing this shit for a bullshit-ass hobby and you wasting your time. Get the fuck out the way for the niggas who actually want to be stars. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. Look in the mirror. The second thing I would say is learn to step outside of your comfort zone. You know, it's easy to be the man in your home league. I learned real fast that home leagues don't really mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of the little bullshit Arizona leagues that, you know, we had moving at the time, I didn't get my name from Arizona leagues. Like, I got my name, and I say this all the time, I got my name from going to L.A. alone to battle QP. That was my second battle. You know what I'm saying? Going to L.A., going to Cali alone from AZ, or going to D.C. alone, or going to New York alone, like stepping out of my comfort zone to where I'm not just battling on my home league. You know what I'm saying? That's another issue, getting out your comfort zone. There was one other thing that I was going to say, but I'm just going to leave it at them two. That's a good start. If you can start with that, that's why I like to see what some of these West Coast guys are doing, like Grizz and Coffee, and, you know, some of these up and coming young niggas that's, you know, actually getting their name up nationwide. It's not by surprise that these are the same niggas that are going to New York on their own. They going to some of these other, you know, Grizz had a battle in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is actually branching out, networking. Networking is part of this shit. You have to be nice, but once you get a name, you got to know how to network with motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just start with those two things. There's other things, but, you know, I don't want to talk niggas to death every time you ask me a question. That's a good start for those two things.
Okay. So with that, because as I was looking at the card, there's a lot of names on here, obviously people who are first-timers. You have some people who are returning, those that, you know, maybe this is like their chance to go ahead and just go to the next level with it, right? So for you,
yeah.
Because you're in a position where you've helped people who actually want the help, people who are willing to, like you said, get uncomfortable, try something new. You know what I'm saying? Don't just do what you do on your regular league. Actually try and add something to get to the next level. So we've seen like Geechee, he progressed. We see Jada Nightwing now. He's looking like he's progressing. Like, what is the process on your side that you feel battle rappers here in the West should be going through if they want to be serious about this and really make it? Like, what is that process that they need to be looking at to go through?
Once again, that's a multi-layered question, but I'll do my best to answer. So, once again, that question kind of follows. It's kind of the exact same answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, like I said, it all starts with looking in the mirror. Like, the people who are where they at right now in terms of their name, in terms of getting booked other places, in terms of where when we do LA events, people come out to see them, or they constantly pushing, like, say, for instance, Grizz. Grizz didn't get better because he kept rapping on the same shit. Like, he didn't get his name up because he stayed the same way. A lot of people must have forgot, but when he battled Yak, Grizz is my nigga. But Yak got that nigga when we had that Oakland, the last time we had the Oakland PG card. Since then, if you look at the battle with Yak versus Grizz and look at the battle with Grizz versus Fetty, you will see a totally different nigga in terms of battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see a totally different nigga. You know what I'm saying? The biggest problem with a lot, and the same thing with Gotti. Like, if you look at Gotti, you know, when he battled Hemi on, you know, on his first PG, you know, he won the battle, but in all honesty, the third round is why he won the battle. Like, the third round was why he won the battle, because Gotti has always been known to have that strong third round where he can talk that shit, and Cuz choked. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, he choked in the third round, and Gotti had a great third round. That's what the starting point. And if you look at Gotti's battles now, his first rounds might be just as lethal as his third rounds. I try to, when I know I'm invested in somebody, and I feel like any nigga who's ever had a PG like under my wing can attest to this. If I feel like you got potential to do something, I will pull you to the side after the battle and tell you exactly what you need to do about your style to get to that next step. Some niggas listen, some niggas don't. The niggas who, I haven't came across one nigga who didn't listen and got better. But the niggas who did listen, the Rum Nitties, the Geechee Gottis, the Grizzes, the Jaded Nightwings, the Stewies, you know what I'm saying? Like, them niggas listen, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I ain't trying to big up myself, but at the end of the day, I come from a less privileged position than every single nigga that battles in California. I came from Arizona by way of Michigan. I ain't never had a home battle. I'm from Michigan. Like, I lived 24 years in Michigan. I ain't never had a home battle, not once. I had to battle Daylight in L.A. I had to battle Danny in L.A. Like, these are battles that niggas can't do. I went out there and beat or had debatable classics with both these niggas. I couldn't have did that if I battled the way I battled when I was in fucking battling in Tucson and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to step my shit up. So, you know, that's the start, man. Like, looking yourself in the mirror and keeping it real with yourself. Don't listen to these niggas that's gassing. Keep it real with yourself, man. That's it, man. That's the start. There's, like I said, there's other layers to it, but it starts with that. And I feel like a lot of niggas, I would say the majority of the West right now, over the past, basically since we had initiation, I feel like I haven't seen progression in the people who I wanted to see it out of. I don't feel like saying no names, but you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like you haven't gotten better. You know what I'm saying? So, get better.
I heard that. So I'm going to ask this question. This is kind of one of the hot topics that got brought up actually the last couple of weeks on my show. When it comes to investing in your career. And now there's been a lot of different narratives with this one, a lot of different answers that I've received with this one. People are wondering, should you just pay a top name if you feel like you're already it? Should you just go the URL route and pay for a name on URL? You know, people have been kind of putting in a lot of different sides to it. So in your opinion, when it comes to the investing part, like, what in your mind is a sound investment for the people who are looking to be on URL and for those battlers who may already be on the PG platform? Like, what investment should they be making into their career?
All right, so one thing that I will always tell somebody is your subscribers, the subscribers on the channel that you're battling on really determines if you should invest into a name. So, say for instance, if I'm battling on a YouTube channel, I don't even want to say no names because, you know, niggas get salty. Let's just say a battle channel that maybe only has 1,000 subscribers. If you pay a battle rapper, I don't give a fuck if it's Twerk, whoever the fuck, it just don't matter. If you pay them niggas X amount of money, say you pay them a stack, which is, let's just say you pay them $1,000. That's a bad investment because there's nothing wrong with paying a battler, but all right. So from a sponsorship standpoint, I'm gonna give y'all some inner workings on business. So when I sell, how I get investments from sponsors, I do it based on not only the platform, but I also do it based on the events. So say, for instance, Traffic 4, I'm asking for X amount of money for Diz vs. Rock as a sponsor because Diz will guarantee you 1 million views. Tay Rock will guarantee you 1 million views. So their investment is justified based on the views that they're going to get. Now, if I know that I'm on a channel that has never hit no more than 2,000 views, why the fuck would you pay somebody $500, $1,000 to battle? That's stupid. Like, that's not a good investment, because the person you're paying is looking at the views on that channel, and they like, oh shit, I'm about to fool. Like, I'm not taking this battle serious. So if you're going against somebody who don't take the battle serious because of the views, what happens is you invested your money, and the people who support that person, they see through it too. So they're gonna be like, oh well shit, this battle don't fucking matter. It was on the battle got 2,000 views. Cuz just took the check. Like we know that's how niggas move. This is now, fans know this shit now. So my always suggestion is find the classic. Like, find the classic. Period. Find the classic. Find your potential for a classic, because, you know, there's certain niggas that got on. Nobody knew who Danny Myers or who Rum Nitty was. They knew who they was, but when that battle happened, it was on a day 1 King of the Dot card. I was on the day 2 card, the main stage card. I battled Lotta Zay. That was the card where Disaster Battle of the Bay, one of them Battle of the Bays. That was a day 1 card, and it wasn't even the main event on that card. At that time, them niggas would, like, obviously I knew who Nitty was. I knew who Danny Myers was, but the New York, they didn't know who these niggas was. You know what I'm saying? Danny could have paid for a look. He could have took that T-Rex route, or Nitty could have had some sponsor pay for a look, but them niggas battled each other and they created something. Stewie, Gotti, same situation. Wasn't nobody checking for Gotti when we did that Stewie and Gotti battle. Not because Gotti wasn't nice, but Gotti wasn't in good graces with URL at the time, because, and I'm not saying me, I'm talking about URL, like them niggas. And because of the battle with Saint on King of the Dot, they wasn't even really trying to deal with the nigga. So I'm like, man, fuck what you niggas is talking about. I'm about to do this little low-key classic that niggas ain't thinking about. That battle at damn near $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the actual matchup is what is going to sell, is going to really bring it in. Clutch versus Grizz, that's another example. Not to say that niggas ain't checking for these niggas, but on no other situation did they get 100,000 views before that. It was the matchup. You know what I'm saying? So I really just say that to say it has to be, if you're going to invest in a battler, it has to be justified based on the platform. If you want a platform, if you want a certain platform that you know gets X amount of views every single time, it makes sense to make that investment, because that person is going to take it serious, because they don't want to get embarrassed, because it can fuck their money up if it's on the wrong platform. But if it's one of these little bullshit and not bullshit leagues, but low subscriber leagues, it's a silly move, because them niggas is looking at you like a free vacate. And I just can't keep it more real than that. That's the hustle of this game, man. A lot of these top tier niggas is broke, so you paying their light bill when you doing this shit. So them niggas ain't thinking about writing for your ass until 2 days before, a week before. They not taking you serious. You know what I'm saying? So it's a delicate act. Me personally, I've never came out of my pocket to pay nobody. I chose to do the classic route. You know what I'm saying? Find the classic. So it's really up to you, but traditionally paying for battles don't really pan out if you're doing it on some bullshit league.
Okay, I heard that.
I know that's a long.
This is a question
it's a long explanation, but it's something that I'm hoping that niggas really take heed to, because you can invest in yourself, but when you invest in yourself, that means investing your travel. Like, if you got to look, all right, so say, for instance, We Go Hard, shout out to We Go Hard, has a battle where you got a potential look against one of their up-and-coming guys. If you don't know, We Go Hard is one of the subsidiaries to URL. You know what I'm saying? So if you show out at that platform, there's going to be certain people who are influencers with URL who can get you put in a good position. You know what I'm saying? So when niggas say invest in yourself, it really is more about making sure that you invest in your travel, investing on getting the fuck out. When I battle my nigga T2 Good in DC, I keep saying this, that's my lowest viewed battle. I think it maybe only got like 1,500 views, maybe 2,000 views. But that battle is what put me in the position I'm in right now in terms of URL. You know what I'm saying? And I invested in myself. I paid for my flight. I didn't pay for my telly, but I paid for my flight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's more investing in yourself than the actual, you know, paying for battles. That shit normally don't pan out. My bad to cut you off, but people need to understand it is important to invest in yourself, but paying for a look don't always pan out. If you're gonna pay for a look, pay for it to be somebody that's either on your level or just a notch higher. Don't pay for somebody that's 4 steps higher than you because they'll never take you serious.
I heard that. Now, you giving good game right now. This is definitely what they need to be listening to and hearing. So I appreciate you giving the game
I hope they hear
right now. So one question, this is kind of coming from battlers, right? And I'm always a big person. I always big this up is putting in work. And obviously people have different definitions of work. Me, I'm more about your performance in the battle, not the quantity of battles. I'm one of those people, and I think you kind of got me thinking like this was, why take 5 battles to try and get popping when you could just make that one battle pop better than all 5? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a question that always comes up is how many battles should battle rappers in the West be taking on the local leagues? Like, should they be taking more battles if their name is not getting out there, or should they just get in the lab and just improve the performance and take less battles and just try and make those fewer number of battles pop?
Good question. So it kind of depends on the situation. I never advise anybody to do a battle every month. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. A battle every month is a bad idea. If you a new guy trying to get your name up, I would advise battling at least every other month. Like I would, like, if you a new guy, if you like, but when I say every, 6 times, every other month, it can't be every other month on the same platform. See, one of the things about California is the gift and the curse is that there are so many leagues, so there are a lot of opportunities for people to be seen. And then obviously the negative is there are too many leagues, so we kind of wear ourselves thin as a coach. But the benefit for a new dude is because there are so many leagues, every other month there's some type of event, really every month, but every other month there's an event that you can be a part of, you know what I'm saying, as a new person, you know what I'm saying? So I would definitely suggest every other month. I'm always against every month because you get the JC-itis. And for those who don't know what the JC-itis is before URL start loving JC again, the second time maybe starting last year when he battled Nitty, there was like a 1.5 years, maybe 2-year period where he wasn't getting no looks. And the reason why he wasn't getting no looks on URL was because that nigga was going for the bag every month, battling on a different league. And there's nothing wrong with that once you're established, because at the end of the day, you just bag chasing. But what it does is when you actually have an important battle, I've seen this happen on our platform when we have PGs where I know a nigga battled 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and they come on our platform and the shit ain't really moving niggas. And sometimes these niggas wonder why, and I'll be like, bro, there was certain lines that you probably used in front of that crowd of 10 niggas that you should have kept for this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you risk when you have a battle every single month. I just feel like if you can put yourself in a position where you can save some of that fire against battles that don't matter, and that's another thing. Battling a lot don't mean shit if your competition ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You should always be trying to battle better people. You know what I'm saying? Even if that results in a potential L, you need to always be in a position where you're trying to battle, bigger people every single time. So my recommendations for a new nigga every other month, I can never see you at your best if you battle every month. I can't. I've been in this shit long enough. I done battled against the best. I done been around the best. Like, I'm currently around the best right now. I know from experience that when you battle every month, you wear yourself thin, bars get wasted on bad platforms, and then you end up spitting mediocre shit sometimes on the good platform. So as a new person, every other month, I told Gotti You know, and this is a conversation, you know, I talk to him all the time about how to plan for the next year. Like, everything he doing right now, I don't really even get a nigga props like that no more because these are conversations that we had a year and a half ago. Ask him, he know what's up, you know what I'm saying? So, but when like last time we talked, when we was talking about next year, I told him, like, fam, see, he established, and me and Nitty had this talk every year too. On URL, I would like to not see him battle no more than 4 times. Because he in a position now where he should really only be doing main stage battles, so he got to rock the room. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want him to catch JC-itis and them act like they love him now because they love him now, and then he had that one slip up because he wore himself thin, and then now they can negotiate him getting a lesser bag. Because at the end of the day, if you're serious about this battle rap shit, the end game should be how Gotti is getting it right now. Like, that should be the end game. Like, that should be the goal for every single one of these niggas on the West. Gotti didn't get there by accident. Like, we sat down and planned exactly what he doing right now a year and a half ago. He can vouch. Me and Nitty did the same thing 2 years before that. And I had the game plan with myself because wasn't nobody in Cali fucking with me like that. Niggas in AZ barely fuck with me. I got 30 niggas from my city in AZ. I don't even really fuck with AZ niggas outside of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they not really got my back like that. I had to plan the same way. So when I tell these niggas how to go about, how to get to that stage, it ain't because I'm just shooting in the dirt. I got there, and I got 2 or 3, 4 other niggas that's on there right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you gotta be selective, man. And I just always tell people don't wear their stuff thin. It's your choice, but it never works out.
That. So this is another question, pretty much from the battlers, because this is something that I see whenever I'm tagged in the Western Conference. I see this it's very often. Like, this is one of the biggest excuses or reasons, however people look at it. So I'm going to ask you the question. Does popularity, how popular a battle rapper is, the crew that they're in, does that play a factor in them being booked for URL PG?
No, not at all. Because what niggas fail to realize is I don't know none of these niggas. All right. Like, I don't know none of these niggas. Like, I can say the only people I can say I know is the people that's under the fourth quarter wing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when we talking Gotti, you know, obviously me and Gotti didn't obviously formed a friendship. You know, Dre Vicious, you know what I'm saying, Nitty, obviously. Anybody under fourth quarter, Stewie, like, them niggas, we talking, with some of these niggas, we talking now 3-4 years. Dre Vicious, we talking Nitty, you know, Beats. Some of these niggas, we talking 5, 6, 7 years now. You know, Clutch, these niggas, I didn't know them since they was young. You know, we talking time and past, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of these niggas. But any of these new niggas, I don't know none of these niggas. Like, I watch their battles, and, you know, when you at events, I say, what's up? But I'm not invested in these niggas until you actually touch my platform. You know, and that go for niggas in Arizona, too. Like, there ain't no bias. You know what I'm saying? Flo Colombo is part of fourth quarter. He been doing King of the Dot battles for 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. He been on 8 No Excuse battles that my man Chris Wendon did. I wasn't even checking him out until the last battle. Like, so the favoritism shit, popularity, like, popular to who? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we talking about what are we talking popular where? You talking about in the Western Conference Facebook group? Nigga, that shit ain't popular. That shit is fake. That shit ain't even real life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what popularity is and fucking, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't do it based off that. I do it based off exactly what I said, the recommendations of my guys. And these are all different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yak got his barcode thing. KP got the Riot. Floss, a lot of times he's shooting me Bay Area names that I ain't never heard of. You know what I'm saying? He don't. If you want to be honest, he was the one who brought me Jay to Nightwing. So while people be on Floss head like that, he been pushing for Jay for almost a year. I was the one who was like, no, he's not ready. No. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I go based off those names, and then I go based off my research, and that's it. You know, when Nino got somebody he want to bring my way, when Beats, you know what I'm saying, because of these relationships, yeah, I'm going to listen. When Gotti hit me up and be like, yo, you need to check this nigga out, I'm going to listen, you know what I'm saying, because they got their ear to the street. So, you know, that's why I put them posts up and ask, like, yo, who should I, Whoopty-wop, you know what I'm saying, who that guy? I check battles out when niggas post, you know what I'm saying? There's only so many events. I know all the niggas who run these leagues in the West, you know what I'm saying, and my focus is the West. So I'm going based off who recommends who. I don't believe in popularity in battle rap. The most popular niggas in battle rap is broke. Gotti doing well. You know, Gotti doing well. So we're not including him. I'm talking about these other niggas. And Gotti can vouch because he done been around a little bit now. So he done seen what these niggas is about. These niggas is broke. So popularity on the internet, to me, I'm still old school. I'm still one of those, let's go talk. Let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I can gauge who you are based on who, you know, what I see. You know what I'm saying? I don't go based off, you know, popularity in a fucking group that don't fucking really matter. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody who thinks that, you hating because you're not there. And at the end of the day, there's a number of reasons on why you may not be there. You may be ready, but I'm not gonna have no battles with 13 battles on the card. You know what I'm saying? You may have beat a nigga who was on that card, but more niggas asked for him than you. So I mean, at the end of the day, people watch this shit. So we have to go with who's watching this shit. But popularity, I don't know what that is. Like not in battle rap. Like I don't know what being popular in battle rap means. Because ain't none of these niggas getting money like that in the West in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? So that's popularity to me in terms of that level, but them niggas be the brokest niggas, so I wouldn't even want to be popular if you, you know what I'm saying? That might be what, I guess that's probably why I don't battle no more. So
yeah, I think a lot of times, man, what it is. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's my answer. I don't believe in battle rap popularity in Facebook groups. That shit don't exist to me.
No, I think what it is a lot of times, man, is people who either they're not getting brought up. Normally that's what it is, if they're not getting brought up, or if they feel like they're being slighted. They feel like, well, people are only mentioning people they cool with. This crew only messes with this crew or this, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people just don't understand, like, the work is going to speak louder than the crew. There's a lot of crews in battle rap. Not everybody in the crew makes it. You know what I'm saying? It's different levels of work.
Exactly. So, and I mean, and I don't want to keep going back to niggas like Jada Nightwing, but, I mean, them Washington niggas been saying his name. When I put them posts up, they been saying his name. And I've been not listening, you know what I'm saying, because I wasn't impressed with what he was doing at that time. Once I seen that he started progressing and getting better, okay, let's bring him out here. You know, for every motherfucker who do good on them little Lexington stages, you know what I'm saying, when we do these PGs, there's a lot of niggas who come out here who don't do so good, you know what I'm saying? And to be a nigga from another state in two different times, go against some of the best that the West got to offer in terms of these new niggas and rock that crowd, he was dolo. That second time, he was solo. When he battled Real Name, that nigga was alone. You know what I'm saying? And he came to a foreign city and rocked that motherfucker. Being a nigga who comes from other cities like me, who had to drive, take that 5-hour drive just to battle these Cali niggas in their hometown, where I would hear niggas in the crowd being like, man, this nigga's dead. I've never had somebody ever say I was going to win before a battle. Me. I'm talking about me. Like, when I went against Danny, I was supposed to get 30. When I went against Daylight, I was supposed to get 30. When I went against Heartless, I was supposed to get 30. When I went against B Magic, DNA, nigga, you hear this resume? I'm nice, but that's another fucking story. But when I heard this shit, I was always supposed to lose. So being somebody like Jay, who being from another state came out here and rock crowds, I gotta respect that shit. That's a start when you can go anywhere and rock the crowd. Gotti is currently on that tour where he going to every state and rocking crowds because niggas can feel real shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's really what makes the stars. That's why one of the rules, and I told you at the beginning of this conversation, is get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, you can be nice with your niggas around. You can be nice when it's just your niggas behind you. Show me something on the away game. So, you know, like I said, like the hate is part of the game. You know what I'm saying? People are always envious of shit that they haven't attained. That's just part of the game. But at the end of the day, man, like that's why I said rule number one was looking in the mirror. Everything got its same path, man. It go back to the same rules, man. You need to look in the mirror. Stop pointing the finger at other niggas, and you need to point that bitch at yourself.
I heard that. Man, listen, if y'all not paying attention to the game that's being dropped right now, man, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, man. Y'all really need to tap in, man, and really pay attention to what's being said right now, man. Just listen to the game because he giving y'all all the fucking jewels right now. Giving y'all all the nuggets right now to go ahead and be successful in this game. So hopefully y'all are taking notes by this too. You know what I'm saying? One other thing that came up from battlers, I have a different question, but one thing that came up from battlers, and I guess people haven't had in their mind a consistency of what it takes. So this is a two-part question. The first side of the question is what's more important for them, like as far as on the stage to get a drop? Is it more about bars? Is it the performance or just the entertainment value? That's the first question. And then as far as them advancing to the next level, like, is there something else that they need to work on to just advance? Because we have a lot of those, what I call PG veterans. You know what I'm saying? People who they just on the PG platform all the time, but they're never really doing anything past the PG. You know what I mean? So the first side, what kind of performance or bars do they need to get the drop? You know what I'm saying? And then the other side, what do they need in terms of advancing past the PG level?
So it's a good question. So when it comes to actual drops, we're just talking drops. First off, it can't be a situation where one of the niggas chokes. Like, I'm not, one thing to understand is that when it comes to like the PG events, and I normally do about 3 or 4 PG events every single year, those PG events are 100% funded by me. Like, they are funded by me. If we happen to get, maybe like a little duck off sponsor, a little baby sponsor to, cover maybe the one-off type shit, then, that's dope. If any sponsors want to come and be involved, holla at me, really holla at Floss, because that's his forte. But I just say that to say I only invest in something that I feel like when I tell people, when I say I'm about to invest in you, like, I'm not talking about my time. I'm talking about my motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas need to understand, like, I'm invested. When I put money into editing this, like, for instance, I'm about to, the next battle, day one battle we dropping is Cali Smooth versus Gaddafi. I invested, actually this time, shout out to KP and Yak. I actually let them run the day one. They actually invested, so shout out to them. I want to make sure they get their props. But niggas pay money to edit to make sure we are getting the best quality product, to make sure the West looks as good as possible. So, unfortunately, and I hate to say this because there have been some really great performances that have been shelved because the other person either didn't come prepared or they didn't take it as serious as the other person. Like, that hurts my heart for those people. So, like, for instance, XP. I wanted to drop that XP, like, that XP versus Spot battle. I wanted to drop that battle, but Spot choked. And me and Spot talked after the battle. Like, me and him have had a conversation. So, like, and that's my guy. Shout out to Spot, you know what I'm saying? But one of the reasons I keep putting XP on the card is because for whatever reasons, like, his battles just don't drop. But he has been consistent and upper echelon in terms of these niggas to where he deserves to be in a position where his shit should get dropped. You know what I'm saying? So, for some of these niggas, it's just unfortunate circumstances. There have been performances that deserves being put on URL, but we know that since content is dropped on URL every day, if we just dropping battles for the fuck of it, we're going to end up in a situation where you're going to get views that you're not happy with. then you're going to be complaining about something totally different. So, unfortunately, some of these battles, they just don't get edited. So I'm looking for classics, or at least 3 rounds of great back and forth. I'll give you a perfect example. One of the reasons why I dropped LI versus 6500 last year was because it was entertaining. Neither one of them niggas was really bar heavy. It was just an entertaining battle. It was just funny. It was like you don't have to have a certain skill set to progress in terms of a battle dropping. I just need consistent dope shit without choking from both niggas. Point blank, period. Unless you about to invest in the editing of your battle, then we going to do it how we do it, and that's one of the reasons why we respected the way that we are in the West, is because we really only drop fire. Like, we don't drop a lot of whack battles. Like, niggas can't really name the last whack battle that came from URL West. Like, they don't, like, we just, because I invest in it. So, like, it's important to me. So, my apologies to the people who had great performances where they shit didn't drop, but your shit wasn't deemed some shit that was going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying? And that's really all it comes down to. In terms of actually progressing to that next level, man, it's so hard to understand that even with URL, and this don't just happen on our side. It happens in the DMV area. They have these day one cards where damn near like how Traffic 3 was, like half of them be one-offs against niggas who also need one-offs. The only way to get to the next level is you got to have a certain star quality to where you can rock crowds consistently. I'm talking about rock them. And I think people get confused with them niggas behind them. They'll hear them niggas behind them get super loud and they think that's the whole crowd. And I think that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about crowds to where you have to stop because you shook the room. Room shakers. Like, room shakers, in terms of how you, that is really, I'm talking about real room shakers, not gassers. Room shakers is how you get to that next level. That's it. You got to be likable. People got to want to pay to see you. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a personality that people actually want to see. This isn't my rule. I didn't write these rules. There's a reason why I wasn't on Summer Madness. See, this is the difference between me and a lot of these up-and-coming niggas. I was able to look in the mirror. I was never going to have the personality, me personally, because of the shit that I was doing in the streets at the time. I was never going to have a personality where I was going to jump out the window and be something that I was. You know what I'm saying? I had other things on the line, and I was willing to accept that I was never going to get to the Summer Madnesses or Gnomes, because some of the niggas who I thought was really with that shit, when I met them, I got disappointed. Damn, you ain't even really with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So for me, who was really, been out here doing things, you know what I'm saying? I can't jump out that window. And so for me, I was willing to just accept that I'm always going to be in a certain lane because that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I choose to do. I'm not willing to level up to that level and be something that I'm not. Once again, it goes back to looking in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So being unknown, being on Summer Madness, that's a great end game. But for certain people, it's never going to be that. And that's just a reality that some people just got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Some people have that star quality, and some people don't. So if you can be on a one-off, where you getting a few $100, or if you and that one-off is giving you looks on other platforms, for some people that's a dope thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously you want to aspire to do more, but not everybody is going to be on Summer Madness. Not everybody is going to be unknown. That's the harsh truth. But we talking about a card that have 7 battles. That's 14 people. You know what I'm saying? They got to bring in vets, stars, legends to sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a ticket seller, if you're not bringing in pay-per-views, why the fuck would you think you would ever get unknown or Summer Madness? It's just not real, or Traffic. It's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? So once again, that just goes back to looking in the mirror. So in terms of, I hope that answered your question because it was 2 different questions. But in terms of getting a drop, I just need competitiveness. I need consistency. I need no chokes. But in terms of getting to that next level, the people got to say that. The people got to say, I like him. I fuck with him. Why you think Twerk get 100 battles and people still accept him? Because he has a likability about him. He ain't a nice guy. He just has a likability about him with his bars and how he carry himself. If you don't got that, it ain't something you can really develop, man. You can't, some niggas is built with that. Some niggas ain't.
I heard that. These are two questions here, pretty much some of my last ones. I appreciate you taking this time again, because this is some heavy game right here, and this was much needed dialogue for the West, because I feel like a lot of people put excuses in the way, and this is pretty much just letting people know what the real is. You know what I'm saying? From a perspective of somebody like yourself, who you never really get the credit you deserve as a battle rapper when when you were actively battling, but you're somebody who literally started from the bottom in a place where people weren't really looking at, and made yourself into somebody who is one of the more respected names, not even just in the West, but in the culture, period. You know what I'm saying? So hearing this from you, you know what I'm saying, hopefully people are going to take heed, because you're not going to get any better game than this, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
Good look. Yeah, the battling part, time has passed, man, so some of these niggas kind of forgot what I did. Like, I was talking to Coffee on Facebook a couple of days ago, and she was telling me she had never even seen none of my battles because, it's been like 2 years, but at the end of the day, I definitely got the experience. I mean, outside of Danny, I brought, besides the fact that I actively was one of the first niggas on URL from the West, I brought that shit here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't bring it here for me. Like, every battle that I battled on Traffics, I didn't even want the battle. We talking DNA. Like, he's the most viewed battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even want to battle the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like my resume speak for itself. So I brought this over here for other niggas to get to get that opportunity that I really was never presented with. I had to claw for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I hope niggas is taking it, but it is what it is.
I heard that. So yeah, these are pretty much kind of a couple of my last questions that I have. I'll break it up into two parts. So the first part is for you personally with URL. What is your goal for 2019 with URL? That will be the first part. And then the second part is, what are you looking for from battlers in 2019 that you want to see more of that you didn't see in 2018?
So for 2019, first thing I want to do is I need to start focusing on new niggas. Like, Grizz is right there. He's right on that line to where once we get him on main stage, look, that's going to be his make or break in terms of what he can really do. So I'm not too much worried about Grizz because he's pretty much right there. But outside of Grizz, Stewie, Gotti, Jay is getting there, even though I heard he lost that last battle, but that's fine. Niggas lose. It happens. I'm looking for more people who I can feel comfortable with going over there and holding their own without them niggas behind them actually rah-rahing them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, going to places where they can get the rah-rah from a foreign crowd. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest priority for 2019, outside of making sure we do Traffic, next year because we took this year off, is making sure we are building. I need like 2 more stars at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need like 2 more niggas that, we can build up that's willing to take this game plan, really move the way they are able to move to where they can actually get where they really want to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for, that's really my biggest priority. In terms of, what was the second question?
The second question is, you in particular,
what am I looking for?
Yeah.
I got you. What I'm looking for out of these niggas is, I'm looking for room shakers, man. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Like, I'm not looking for, like, you know what? I started, like, before I got on URL, I got my name up on King of the Dot first. And I don't want to sit here and shit on King of the Dot because I've actually grown pretty fond of, Organic, Gully. Like I think they're good people that have a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they have good intentions. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really a shot towards them. But if you here for the jokes, do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's jokes, I need it to be witty. Like I need you to shake the room with your jokes. I need jokes to come with, you know what I'm saying? That's what, 65 think that niggas don't fuck with him, but it really be the Facebook shit that got him on whatever he think because to be real, that's why I had him. That's why I booked him the first times because his jokes could rock a room. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, for niggas like him, he should know that it was never about the antics, like why I ain't booking niggas. He choked against Homeboy, who pulled the fuck shit, the fuck boy from Washington who did the fuck shit, and he lost battles since, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why he hasn't got booked. But like if you gonna joke like how 65 can joke, how he can shake a room off joking, you know what I'm saying? I need room shakers. Like I just say that to say I need room shakers, you know what I'm saying? I need niggas who can shake the room off, like whether it's bars, whether it's personality, whether it's whatever the fuck, I need room shakers who can be consistent. Like that's what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of potential in a lot of these niggas, but I need niggas to be honest with themselves and keep it real on what they need to improve on to make sure they can shake rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not an easy task. Like I'm like it's harder than I make it out to be. Like, not everybody is capable of walking in a room because the PG joints only got 100 niggas. If you can't rock a room with 100 niggas, if you think you can rock a room with 1,500 people, Traffic had 1,000 people. Traffic 3 had 1,000 people in that motherfucker. You can't rock that room if you're not a room shaker. If you can't rock a room with 100 niggas, you're not about to rock no big room. And that's what URL is all about, man. It's exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stars who watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's big time stars who get entertained from URL. They tweet, they Instagram, they post us all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gotti is out here getting love from stars. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be able to shake a room. You gotta catch the attention. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be one thing. You gotta shake the room. So that's what I'm looking for, man. Like I'm looking for niggas who can keep a crowd constantly like, what the fuck? This nigga is amazing. If you ain't got that, man, then once again, go back to rule one, looking in the mirror. And if you ain't got that, that's okay. Not everybody's supposed to have it, but that's what I'm looking for.
I heard that. I could definitely attest, man, as somebody who's actually stepped in the ring this year. It's different, you know what I'm saying, when a lot of people just don't understand, like, a haymaker is not always a room shaker, but a room shaker, you know what I'm saying, it's different levels, you know what I'm saying, a jab ain't a haymaker, you know what I mean, and I think a lot of times at these events, people do a disservice to people by doing the gassing and pushing and yoking the collar, and it really ain't that crazy because you giving that person the feeling of, oh, well, I'm rocking a room, I'm good. And then they go out every other battle after that doing the same thing, and they never progress. So I definitely know what you're talking about.
And little do them niggas know is that the niggas who gas, most times they fuck the footage up. Like they fuck the footage up. I'm talking about for URL. Like that shit it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not organic, if you just doing it because you know you just designated hype man, you fucking the footage up, my nigga. I'm sorry. Like that's something that you right, Nico. That shit need to be addressed, man. That's a bad look. Like you fucking the footage up. Sometimes it's better that if a nigga bar ain't hit, he just go right into it. Cause sometimes when you do it like that, niggas catch it while you in that next bar, and then you got to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? But when you do that, and then you only got one nigga behind you, it fucks the battler's head up because he don't know where that's coming from unless he know his man's voice. But most times he just off adrenaline, so he like, okay, they going crazy. He don't know where it's coming from, so now he think that, oh, niggas was going crazy off my shit. Nah, fam, it was your nigga behind you. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do better at that, man. That's why I personally never be on a stage at my own events, because I want to see how the people in the crowd is talking. anybody who come to the PG events, no, you never see me on the stage at the Lexington one time. I've never been on the stage. I purposely don't be on the stage. I want to see what people in the crowd is talking about. What's niggas saying? Because them niggas is the one buying tickets. Them niggas is the one getting the pay-per-views. And if they not fucking with you, then we ain't fucking with it. So that's it.
I heard that. Well, you know what I'm saying? Once again, King, I appreciate you taking the time to come up on here and chop it up and give the game out to the whole entire West, man. It was definitely much needed dialogue. So I want to thank you for coming on here. These next few minutes, I was going to give you this time to go ahead and do any shout outs, if you want to promote anything, or just give any last words, man. I'll let these next few minutes be all you.
Man, I don't even need no next few minutes, man. Shout out to the West, man. Like, niggas who know me know what I do it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, we out here, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man, you know. You know, ain't no nothing towards nothing, man. We just trying to see niggas do better, man. But people got to learn how to take criticism and don't, you know, let's just be great, you know what I'm saying? You know, let's just be great, you know. At the end of the day, that's it, man. Like, in terms of, like, all the shit I got to offer, man, I done said the brands a million times. Y'all know KO Clothing Brand, Mobile Cosmo, the nonprofit organization building back the community, man. We done already spoke about it, man. Shout out to you, man. We had our talk, man. I'm happy that you're doing what you're doing. Come to the event so we can sit down and really chop it up about what that next step is, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Real quick, I know you mentioned that the organization that you have going on to help build back the community. Is there a website people can check that out to go ahead and make sure they support that?
Yep. BBTC Foundation, Building Back the Community Foundation. BBTCFoundation.com.org. We got all the domain names, man. They can't take it from us, man. It's over. So, .com.org. We got them both. So, whichever one you want to type at the end. So, good looking out for the plug. You know what I'm saying? We don't. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that's a totally different lane. We on some other shit with that, so I don't want to. You know, we ain't gonna mix that with battle rap because you know this shit WWE and that you know the building back shit. That's some real shit. So, if you wanna check it out, man. Feel free. Shout out to all the battle rappers who did contribute and promote it, you know what I'm saying? But we're doing a good thing, but, you know, like I said, that's some real shit. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do that on your own time.
Most definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time and looking forward to seeing this event, man, January 13th, man. URL PGs is back in the West, man. I appreciate you coming on, King.
Yeah, no doubt. Stay up.